Hey everybody, Rick here from Save vs. BS. Now, I was gonna shoot an entirely different video right now. This one became a little more important, and it is, do I allow spectators? No. It might sound harsh, but let me explain. The short answer is spectators change the game. And the long answer is the rest of this video. So if you're satisfied, stop right here. Last night, this topic came up about 2 hours before game time. As many of you know, my wife, the beautiful, wonderful human who makes us amazing meals, desserts, snacks, and she makes sure we have, good drinks and I mean, cheesecakes, peach cobblers, fancy dips with just all these amazing things. The little charcuterie boards with the meats and the crackers and the mustard with the little balls. She does all this to take care of me and my gaming friends. She's never played. She's married to me, and despite all of my rantings and my game life and the endless books, gear, minis, and even the $45 dice sets that continue to arrive by mail, she doesn't complain. Never. She was making a cherry cheesecake, and it was one of those no-bake things. Now, it's her own recipe. It's not out of a box. She's quite the chef herself, but she made this no-bake cheesecake. She says to me that the cheesecake might not actually set properly before time for game night, before game time. So I told her, okay, well, you stay home. We live a mile away from the pizza shop. I said, just bring it up at game time. We have an extra chair, smiling, trying to coax her to come and play. And she looked at me dead ass and she's like, you don't allow spectators. And I was just like, yep, she's got me there. I said, I know. I'm like, I have extra character sheets. We'll slap you out of character in no time. We all laughed, and she's just not interested. And then I told her she's not allowed to watch my videos anymore. Needless to say, the cheesecake was not set in time, and so we did not have a dessert to go with the amazing chili that Mallory brought. So thank you, Mallory, for that. The thing is, for one, she's being supportive. There are many people as adults who quit doing what they love because their spouses hate it. I can actually name you a few YouTubers who were faced with that moment early in life and chose to do what they love, and their lives are better for it. She clearly respects what's important to me, and for whatever reason, she's just not interested. Or maybe she feels shy about it. Maybe my illusory DM OG gangster skills are just intimidating, but I'm sure that's not it. This got me wondering two things. One, I should start a segment about my wife and attempting to get her to join the game. I think that'd be interesting every few videos to have like a separate, cutaway to me talking about how I attempted to get her to play, knowing she's never gonna play. And the other one is that specifically, am I the only one who doesn't allow spectators? Serious question. I have never seen a video on this topic. I've never seen it talked about. I don't spend a ton of time on forums and such, so I don't really have an accurate representation of what the Reddit threads are doing right now. I don't allow spectators. I've been doing this long enough to know when something breaks the table. It doesn't get ruined all at once, it just breaks in a subtle way. And I feel like spectators do that every single time. When people hear spectator, they imagine someone loud, like a sports fan at a game, somebody shouting, giving advice from the bleacher. It doesn't even take that much to disrupt the game. They don't need to say a single word. Just the fact that they're in the room changes everything. So when you have a spectator in the room, the mood gets weird. The players stop playing for themselves and each other, and they start playing for whoever's watching. I've seen it. So somebody please tell me I'm wrong. Sometimes they don't even know that they're doing it. You see it in the way they lean back in the chair, the way they phrase their actions. They're not talking to the table anymore. They're talking to the gallery. I'm gonna give you an example. Years back, I had this friend who was curious about the game. He didn't want to make a character and commit. He didn't want to just jump in and roll dice in the middle of an ongoing campaign. He thought he was being respectful by saying he just wanted to watch. He just wanted to maybe learn. The best way to learn is just to dive in, right? This guy just wanted to see what it was like. And I'm like, fine. He sits on the couch just outside of the circle of the table. Didn't do anything. I just knew the play was off. The players looked at him more than they looked at each other. This is a true story. The guy who was normally, cracking dumb dad jokes, he was actually trying to be actually funny instead of being his dad jokey self. The quiet guy who really takes his time with his turns, now he's rushing to get through the awkward part because he's now performing in front of a stranger. And that was it. The whole night turned into that performance instead of, the game. And I think this is the part people miss. The danger isn't just what the spectator does. The danger is what their presence makes you do. Am I making sense? I mean, it makes sense to me. It's the same reason that live stream games feel different than the games you play at home. You're not playing for each other anymore. You're playing for them, whoever is out there watching. Even if them is just like one dude sitting in the corner on his iPhone. And look, I know some tables like that. They want to be on a show. They've got minis painted to perfection, battle maps, drawn in permanent marker, terrain with lights in it. I mean, we have some of that, don't use it that much, but they want people watching. They thrive on it, and good for them. It's great. I love a good live play sometimes, but it's not for me, and it's not my table. My table is private. It's dangerous. I want my table to feel like we've all stepped somewhere else together. We've locked the door, and we're sharing these intimate moments. Now, that doesn't work when there's some stranger leaning against the wall. I have broken this rule a few times. I've let people sit in, not a lot, but it has happened, and I've regretted it every single time. It always plays out exactly the same. They start out quiet, they think that they're invisible, and then in no time, you can tell they're listening. They start to kind of chuckle or whisper. And eventually they'll say some version of, "Don't go in there," or "That's a trap." 3 or 4 words, and the magic that we have cast on this table is broken. Because suddenly, it's no longer about the characters in the dungeon or whatever we're doing. It's about the guy sitting in the back who knows the punchline. Once that happens, it doesn't go back. You don't get the vibe back. Now, I'm sure there's people who are going to disagree with me. Here's the thing. When people are playing, they're vulnerable. They're taking risks. They're trying out maybe voices. They're making weird choices. Often, they're being brave and stupid at the same time. They're allowed to do that because the circle is closed, because there is trust. The second you put an audience in the room, the trust shifts. It's not about the group. Now it's about the group plus whomever is sitting there silently grading them, okay? Who's silently judging us. Now, even if that's not what the spectator is actually doing, that, to a lot of people, would feel that way. So here's a real world example. Have you ever had that feeling when you're telling a story to a couple of friends, okay? And somebody you don't know walks up, the story changes. You edit yourself. You legit self-edit. You hold back intimate details, or you tell it bigger than you actually would have, to your friends. Same story, different delivery. And only because someone else showed up. And to me, that's exactly what happens when you let in a spectator. And I know some of you guys are thinking, well, what about introducing new players? Cool. What about letting somebody watch so they can, learn the game before they join? No, I don't even like that. I would rather throw them in the deep end, okay? Hand them a pre-gen, grab 44s, slap them out a new character, hand them a set of these beautiful dice from Runehammer, and let them learn by doing. Because when they watch first, they're not really learning. They're spectating. They're observing what the other players are doing, okay? That special, that nuance that every single player brings to the table, they're deciding what's funny and what's expected. When they finally play, they're already thinking about things, like how do I look playing instead of just playing? Again, all my opinion, do what you want with this opinion. I would say from a DM perspective, it's actually safer to play the game than to be a onlooker. But I do want to say one exception. This is important. Children. Now, I'm almost 50 years old. I've got kids. I've got a grandson on the way. And the only exception is if you got a kid in the house. or somebody's son or daughter is hanging around, I don't mind them drifting in and out. Don't mind it at all. I would rather they just pulled up a chair and played, okay? But these kids are not spectators, okay? They are sponges. They're half in the world without even meaning to be. Their imaginations are far and wide better than, old people. So the kid's gonna sit there, they're not grading you, they're just soaking it up. And it's completely different. We are talking about future players being born. And that's a beautiful thing. So adults, no spectators, under no circumstances, okay? God, I'm saying okay an awful lot. Anyway, and you know what? It's not just about my table. It's really, I'll be honest, it's about me. I run a better game when I know the circle is closed. I talk a little different. I describe things a little different. I let silence hang longer, and I'm not rushing to fill that space. I'm not worried if a guy on a couch is bored. I'm only worried about my players. And that's really where all my focus belongs. I don't need to entertain bystanders. I need to terrify my players. I need to challenge them. I need these players to believe that the bone rope bridge is snapping under their boots like what happened last night. I don't need them to wonder if the dude with the Mountain Dew in the corner is impressed by the way that, I narrated it. So if someone were to ask me, hey, can I come and watch? I don't just say no. I say no, and here's why. Because it kills the game. And then I invite them to play. So if you want to be in the game, it's easy. Grab a pen, grab a pencil, grab a set of dice. I've got thousands of sets of dice laying around. You're in. But if you don't want to play and you just want to watch, you're out. It's just that simple. So no spectators ever. Thank you for watching, everybody. My name is Rick. My channel is Save versus BS. Thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you in the dark.